It's time for Lefties Losing It. Let's hear from Angelina Jolie, who seems to be suffering from a severe case of TDS. Apparently, she doesn't even recognise her own country. Maybe get out of that bubble, love.
I love my country, and but I don't at this time recognize my country. And I think that's, but I've always lived internationally. I've always, my family's international, my friends, my life, my worldview is equal, united, international. So anything, anywhere that divides or, of course, limits personal expressions and freedoms and from anyone, I think is very dangerous.
Oh, you know what that nonsense is about? It's the whole Jimmy Kimmel saga. But I don't recall Angelina Jolie or any other Hollywood blowhard saying anything when Roseanne was cancelled from her own show, or Gina Carano, a fellow actress, who made a very mainstream comment and saw her career destroyed, or when conservatives from all walks of life have been silenced. But suddenly, Angelina and the rest of Hollywood are concerned about free speech. You know, the very same folks irate about Jimmy Kimmel's little suspension, all those Democrats and commentators. And let's not forget, he was suspended for lying on air and refusing to apologise. The same people irate about that and who suddenly care about the First Amendment were not too concerned when it was their ideological opponents being silenced and deplatformed from the president down. You think we've forgotten this?
Shouldn't be banned from one platform and not others for providing misinformation out there.
There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, especially around our democracy.
There are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda, whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged, is something that would be a better deterrent.
If people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick and has an agenda and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block. It's really hard to govern today.
This is a matter of corporate responsibility. Twitter should be held accountable and shut down that site. It is a matter of safety and corporate accountability.
The First Amendment is not absolute. It does not protect any single thing anyone says. There are limits, and that's important. And what this committee has been trying to do for the last year and a half is to chill the federal government from monitoring what is going on social media.
When you look at what Tucker Carlson and some of these other folks on Fox do, it is very clearly incitement of violence. Very clearly incitement of violence. I believe that when it comes to broadcast television like Fox News, these are subject to federal law, federal regulation in terms of what's allowed on air, what isn't.
So my biggest concern is that your view has the First Amendment hamstringing the government in significant ways.
And thanks to Tom Elliott for that compilation. And here's another hypocrite to add to the list, The View's Sunny Hostin. She was all for Roseanne being axed, but Jimmy Kimmel is apparently beyond reproach.
Our founders drafted the First Amendment specifically to protect the rights of citizens to criticize the government. When you cross that kind of societal norm, you must pay the consequence. Yeah. And firing her was the right thing to do. I'm thrilled that ABC did it.
Let's check in with Rachel Maddow, MSNBC anchor Rachel Maddow, and here she is doing a free ad for Antifa and any other leftist group wanting to protest the Trump administration.
You may have already heard this, but the organizers of the No Kings rallies, remember the No Kings rallies that happened back in June, those huge protests in June that attracted more than 5 million people across the country, organizers from the No Kings events that happened back then have just now announced the date for the next No Kings demonstrations. They're going to be October 18th. So that's going to be no thrones, no crowns, no kings. Saturday, October 18th. That's about 6 weeks from now.
Did you get that? Is it in your diary yet? Don't miss out. Rachel needs you out there. And the ad went on and on. Listen.
Indivisible organizer Ezra Levin did an interview about it with Rolling Stone today, in which he told Rolling Stone that there isn't a single large, flagship event they want everybody to travel to on October 18th. Instead, they just want protests everywhere.
That's what passes for news reporting on MSNBC. And talking about protests, have a look at these lefties losing it, trying to behead a Trump effigy. Granny has lost her marbles. These are the people we need to unify with. No, thank you. Now, here is one way to stop protesters from being pests. Here are some trans activists trying to disrupt a Turning Point event, being drowned out by chants of USA. Fun. USA! USA! Now, let's go back to The View for another meltdown, this time courtesy of Ana Navarro, who's having paranoid fantasies about Trump coming to get her.
This is what dictators and authoritarians do. It does not matter the ideology. At first, they come for the people with big platforms. At first, they silence the press, but then they come for all of us, because their intent is to scare us into silence and self-censorship. And look at the things that this government has done. They kicked the AP out of the Oval Office for not saying Gulf of America. They cut the funding of NPR and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Yes, they did that, Anna, because those organisations were not news sites but leftist propaganda outfits, and they're free to exist, but they do not deserve taxpayer funds. They're not entitled to funding from the US government, but Anna wasn't done yet. The meltdown continues.
And I will say to you all, to all of us, look, we have seen tech titans go into the Oval Office. We are seeing media moguls, publishers of newspapers. We are seeing all of them try to make the peace with Donald Trump. A bully always comes back for more. So they need to stand up, and we need to demand the same from ourselves.